I'm going, guys. Ugh. Let me turn on the gimbal. Let's see. Can you guys see there? Okay. Hey guys. Welcome back to live stream in the studio. Changed perspective for this time. Today I'm going to be scanning. I was just developing some film and yeah, basically just finished on time to go live a minute ago. So excuse me if I'm a little sweaty and whatnot. I was developing some 8x10s, some 4x5s, and getting the computer up and running. This is the computer here in, well, it is the dark room to me. This is the light room. That's the dark room. So yeah, I'm going to be having to touch the comments every now and then because this is a pain. Okay, that is not the dark room. So yeah, I'm going to be scanning some 8x10s that I have backlog. Also going to be scanning some 4x5s, which are here. Let me see. From the other day. Jacob, thanks. I'm glad you like the news. These are from the first architecture series. You can't probably see them, which I screwed up exposure, but 2 of them are good. So I'm still going to make that video. I got to scan them so I can edit the video and post it on the Patreon first and then on the live stream on the normal YouTube. And this is all from testing the 38 millimeters. You probably can't see anything. Let me see if I can find a white backdrop. Let's see if that works. There's too much reflection. You can see there was a lens I tried and it didn't cover. There's a lot of vignetting here and here. But I'm still going to scan these because we made a video about it. So yeah, I'm going to scan that too today. I won't be finding prints. If you guys leave a comment, sorry if I don't look at it straight away because trying to scan while I try to talk is going to take me a little bit of practice. So my scanning technique has no mystery. I basically just lay the film flat on the scanner. And yeah, I get Newton rings. And yeah, I don't really mind about it. So yeah, that's how it went. These are my first 5 rolls of developed T-Max 3200. And they're here. Sorry. They're here for a reason. I never keep my film back in the little canister. I think it's a horrible way to archive. But these are going to go to a friend with a pack-on scanner. And the film, if it's uncut, is better. So I didn't have any long sleeves. So I'm sending them to him like this. Hopefully he'll take good care of them, scan the pictures of the Kodak T-Max 3200, and send them back so I can cut them and sleeve them properly. So yeah, these are my first 5 rolls of that from the wedding in Switzerland. There's one roll that's missing that I developed at shot at 800, which I will be developing later on. So yeah, these are all 8x10 negatives, and these are some more, and there's some more that are drying in there, and I still have like 100 more to develop. So it's gonna take a while. So yeah, basically I usually go back to shots I have scanned already. Ooh, these are for friend, which I should scan those. Let me just start with the top. So yeah, as I'm all sweaty and hot, I highly recommend you guys use cotton gloves. So I will, for the sake of not being a mess on YouTube Live. If my hands are clean enough, I would just go straight away. I usually don't put my fingers on the film. But yeah, let me know if you hear there's a vent back there because it's extremely hot. Summer's starting to get here. So the scanner's on. It's a V700 Photo Epson flatbed scanner. I usually give it a little bit of a blow, and maybe with a microfibers I kind of give it a little swipe so it's clean. This is actually the scanner that I cleaned on a video. It still looks slightly fogged inside, but it's good enough for my proofs. When I scan, or when I shoot film, my final idea is not a scan. So when I scan, it's only to share on social media, to share on my website, to share with the people I took a picture of, to share on WhatsApp and similar groups, Facebook and such. So I don't mind if the pictures are not tack sharp, if there's Newton rings, if there's a little bit of dust here and there. They're just kind of like a collection so I can share with people. So bear with me if my technique is clumsy and such. It's not the same when I'm in the darkroom. So let's start with the picture. First picture here, which is a portrait I did in Barcelona. You probably can't see, but there's a person there. My phone does auto exposure. So what I do is I grab the film and I put emulsion side down, and then I just lay it flat. And there's a position, let me know if you guys can't hear me. There's a position that it works fine on the scanner, so I click preview. Everything's in Spanish, so if I say something in Spanish, bear with me. And have a look like that. Let me see. Anyone left a comment? Yeah, it doesn't work with gloves. Awesome. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to help you out. There hasn't been much activity on YouTube. Last week was a crazy week. I had a demo on Tuesday for large format. There was a workshop, not mine. So I went to show some cameras. Wednesday, same thing. It was an hour drive one way, an hour drive the other way. I had a demo in the afternoon of Jobo developing, which I just finished because I couldn't finish. Wednesday night, which is when the live stream should have started, I was at a private talk of a national award-winning photographer that shoots 8x10, which was extremely interesting. So there we have the preview. I think the computer is having glitches. You can see a little glitch there. So it looks like it has to go up. So up it goes. I should make some marks once I have that under control. But yeah, I just do previews till I have the whole frame. Why do I scan just the whole frame on the glass? I like seeing the frame of the negative around it. I guess some people call it, you know, like a fashion hipster, whatever you want to call it. I kind of like the idea of seeing the whole frame and it, you know, cutting through it. So yeah, the negative is the other way around, which is awesome, but the position's not bad. So let's grab that and flip it around. And now let's see if that works better. This guy here is the guy, one of the workers at Lomography in Barcelona. So if you ever go to Barcelona, you can probably see him there. I'll see if I can turn the computer a little bit so you guys can see the results. Sorry for the old-fashioned Mac. It's not mine. It was here at the studio when we rented it. So yeah, you see, I got the whole frame around it. Saw you define gravity on Instagram. Okay, sorry. Saw Jacob's question too. T-Max shot at 3200. So all of these are pushed. Oop. Sorry, guys. My gimbal gave away. Let me see. I think I'm asking for too much weight. So T-Max 3200 pushed to T-Max to 3200. So developing time is whatever Kodak said. Developed in HC 110. I will be sharing on social media when I have those. Second, let me see. So here, ooh, I'm gonna have to get you guys off this. Give me a sec. It doesn't like having it doesn't like having the, how do you call it, foam protector. It makes it way too heavy. So let me put it without. So we're gonna go, guys. Sorry for the little incident. That should work much better. And there we go. That should manage to work. If it falls again, then I'm just gonna have it hold it somewhere. So yeah, on my Instagram story, there was a video of me, well, actually a video I took of some students in Barcelona. I had a workshop this Saturday, so I drove to Barcelona and back in the day, which is 6 hours one way and 6 hours the other way, which I don't recommend doing. And we tested my tripod at max height. No sound anymore. Awesome. Let me see. No sound. How can I have no sound now? Unmute microphone. It works? Okay. Okay, sorry guys. I don't know if that was my fault or Moniano, Alex. So I went to the workshop and I was shooting, we were shooting 8x10, we were shooting 4x5, and I have a tripod, sorry I was out of focus. I have a tripod that can go up to 3 meters almost. So there was a scaffolding at the warehouse we rented, or I rented, and I said, why don't we take a shot from the top pointing down? So we put the tripod at the highest height basically, and pointed the camera down, and we took a picture. I just developed that. It's drying, and the shot came out, so that was pretty nice. I didn't expect it to exactly work, but it did. So that was why we were defying gravity there. So the notch inwards. Just a tad. There we go. Just trying to align everything properly. So yeah, there we go. Cerrar. Scan, let's see. Scan, scan, scan. 8x10. There we go. So scanning. So that's why we were shooting at the max height. That tripod, I will make a video about why I bought that tripod and the reason behind it. There's a whole story about why I got something so high. But it's amazing. It's very lightweight. It's a Gitzo GT or GS 5563 GTS. It's discontinued. I bought it here in Spain, but yeah, pretty nice tripod, and it reaches really tall. Let me see. Someone asked something. Andrea says, Nico, have you ever tried Minolta Highmatic G2? Andrea, no, I haven't. In 35 is probably the format I've tested the least amount of cameras. Mostly because I started off scanning when I came back to film. And 35 on these Epson scanners, as you guys know, is pretty terrible. So that's why there is no 35 on my shooting. So yeah, basically that's why. So I've tested Leica cameras, I've tested a few Nikons, tested one Canon 3V or V3, I can't remember. My brother, Canon EOS 3. My brother had that. And then I've shot the Contax T2, T3, G2. And not much else really. Olympus, Andrew, and stuff like that, the Epic. But that's about it. So yeah, that's why I haven't really used mostly 35. And then once I had a proper 35, I had a Leica, and I have stayed there. I do shoot a Zeiss Icon ZM, which is a Leica mount. and Leica cameras, and point and shoots, and a Nikonos. I have a Nikon underwater one, which is pretty fun. But I have to say the best results for that is when I take it underwater. That's when it's pretty fun. Let me see. I think I have some film here that I did underwater with that camera. Let me see. Maybe not. I don't know where it would be. Just in case you guys want to see. Slides. These are Pentax 6x7 slides. I wish I had a light table here, which I actually do have one somewhere here, but I would have to set it up. But yeah, slide film with an Nikonos in Miami has been my best result so far. And some black and white here and there. Okay, so this says that. Guardar archivo. So that's saved. Andrea says, I have another question. I have a similar scanner like the little one on your desk. It's a Nikon. It's a Nikon Coolscanner 3, but I can't find an adapter for SCSI port for using it with my recent computer. Where did you get the adapter? This one uses, this is the Coolscan, Super Coolscan 5000, and it has USB, so I didn't have to get anything there. So I'm sorry, I can't really help you. Okay, I'm going to leave some marks on the scanner as where does the film work best. So one can go there. One can go there. One could go there. That way I won't forget where it goes. You see? Already forgetting the gloves. So yeah, the SCI 2 modern, you probably are better off finding an old computer and adapting that easily. I have a Mac Pro at home which has the old school PCI stuff, so I'm sure I could get something like that to work. But I haven't tried yet. So there we go, approximately there. So let's give it a preview. I took 2 shots of each person on this 8x10. House says, how's your 8x10 portrait project going? I see you're scanning your negs. Well, how it... Sorry guys, I have a bit of a cough. So far the projects did amazing. I never got to shoot 100 portraits. I shot 106, but I was shooting doubles, so that means I shot around 52, 53 people. I did have to do a few retakes. Damn, now I have it nailed. I should have done that tape trick before. Scan, scan. So I'm developing. I've done so far probably 15 shots developed of 106 or 105 or something like that. And from now on, tomorrow I'm going to develop another batch. Hopefully I can do like 20 or so tomorrow. But it's going well. You should be seeing it online pretty soon. But here I have, yeah, I have a bunch. In the middle of that, I did a few other portraits from a friend that came over with a one with a 38 super wide angle. For those that didn't see that video, I shot a 38 XL, which has a 120 degree field of view, which was crazy wide. Very fun too. Nothing I would shoot on a normal basis, but from a friend having it and bringing it over was pretty fun. Let me see comments. Andrea, okay, I thought that was the same as mine. Sorry, Andrea, but you're going to have to find some solution online. Maybe I can look it up and let you know, but right now I have no internet connection here. TV photo, okay, made it. Have you ever tried airbrushing for retouching prints? Thinking about testing it. Airbrush, I don't know what you mean by airbrush. You mean on the computer? I'm totally ignorant on computer matter. It might be a lie, but it's really not very good at Photoshop, Lightroom, any of that. So I can't tell you what airbrush might be. If it's on the negative side physically, I've never done. I do want to start testing using a little pencil for some negatives that have scratches to fill it up. Andrea says you found the adapter, but it's $400. You're probably better off buying an old computer that has that SCIS or SCSI. I'm a mess with letters. I'm guessing I'm half dyslexic too. My mom does have it, so I might have a mild there. But yeah, so far the project's doing well. For those joining now, these are all the 8x10 I've shot recently. This is probably the last few months. So there's like this 8x10 portraits. I'm trying to keep them separate, mostly because it's all part of a ongoing project. And we'll see where it goes. So that is done. Guardar archivo, which is save, and on to the next. So there we go. This guy is extremely nice. He gives large format workshops in Barcelona too. Shoots 8x10. So he knew he knew the game about what it was to shoot. So he was very helpful and friendly. Took 2 shots. But this one, I don't know if you guys can see it there, but this one has a mild chip on the top here. So I want to see if I can edit that on the negative by using a light pencil and stuff like that. Next, portrait. Dust just loves setting on the scanner while I'm scanning, so I blow it every now and then. As I said, I'm not picky about that yet. Maybe one day I'll be picky about it. But so far, I'm not very picky. Let me see. There we go. So preview again. Computer's going sideways. Let's see, any comments, guys? Grandma says it's pronounced Scassi. Okay, like Nazi. Okay. So yeah, no idea how to get that adapter. But the best, I've seen most people that have computers or scanners that, scanners that require those old adapters, they use old computers for that. So that's probably your best bet. There we go. I just kind of give it a bit of what I think could look okay, and then I touch a little bit on Lightroom. For those who scan, and you read a lot of people that scan and say no retouching, you have to understand that scanners will try to do their best to expose the negative like they think it should. The software will analyze the picture, will bring the highlights up, or will bring the highlights down, and the shadows up. They'll do all that kind of stuff. So you don't want to not touch your negative. When you scan, you always have to retouch something. And I'm not saying retouching skin tones or stuff like that. I'm just saying basic contrast and exposure, sometimes a tad up or down, dodge or burn, just like you would in the darkroom. When I do a print in the darkroom, I always dodge and burn unless the image was perfect, which is very rare, or the developing came out so good that it's just straight out of the, contact printer enlargement. But don't be worried about touching some stuff. I mean, we all know what is okay-ish to do on a computer and what is, a little too much, and it starts looking weird when you've touch stuff. I follow a lot of people that shoot film, and they still touch their pictures, retouch their pictures so much that they look weird. And I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying they look weird. You can do whatever you want with your work. I do what I want. I don't expect anyone to like it or, understand it, but that's how I do it. I only just slightly touch stuff so it looks like what I thought the image should look. If the background was white, I'll try to make it white. If the skin tones, he was dark skin, I try to make it dark. If he had blonde hair, I try to make it blonde. Because when I scan, I'm terrible at it. So I try to just give it a very neutral look on the scan and then touch it up on the computer. And as I said, these are only for social media shares. This is a rocket blower, but it's a grenade. That was a dumb move on Amazon. Bought it to travel. Of course, this is not the best thing to travel with, so it stays in the studio. So yeah, that's why I considered retouching on the scans important. TV photo says a bit like the medical images made by photographer Leonard Nilsson. TV photo, I don't know who it is, and I wish I could Google it, but I can't right now. So that's scanned. There's going to be an interesting image, which I might jump on just for the fun of it, over here. So let me pull this out. This is an image of a guy that followed me on Instagram and actually happened to live down the road. So he came over, and of course we shot an 8x10 of him. That's the 240 millimeter lens on 8x10. Stop down one stop. You can't see, but there's that bokeh of little bubbles everywhere, which I think would be fun to shoot. My studio location outdoors is pretty ugly, so we did the most we could with what we had. If you get in the car for like a minute, there's an amazing forest. Remember that 6x12 lens comparison I did? Well, that was done in that forest, which is done down the road. So yeah, let's scan this one and see how it looks. I have an impression I'm putting it the other way around. I always forget. But yeah, this is 8x10. This is all sorry. All shot on Fomapan 100, which renders pretty good on 8x10 and 4x5. If you guys are starting up on large format, I highly recommend Fomapan. It's so cheap. It works. So we have to turn that sideways. And the computer had a bit of a fritz. Let's see how this looks. Should we darken it, lighten it a little bit? Just a tad. And let's see. Scan. If you guys want to see what's coming out so far, sorry that I'm looking at the computer. This is the first one. Well, this is the last one. And the worst part is when you're scanning things like these, big shots, when there's textures, you get the weirdest Newton rings, which you can see on the bottom here. It won't let me open next one. The guy from the beginning. Another one of the guy from the beginning. These are old ones. I'm scanning at 1,200, what is it called? DPI, PPI, pixels per inch. And it gives me a file, a raw file, which is 230 megabytes. So 4 images is around a gigabyte, just so you know. So yeah. And then one thing I've learned the hard way is I never have a pen drive with me. So I bought one of those key little ones. This is a great little thing. One of these little key ones, so I can plug it, and I always have my files with me. So I plug it on this computer, take it home, and have it on the big computer, which is the one I edit on, and I have an internet connection and stuff. So yeah, this is my digital darkroom, or my Lightroom, where I do all of this. But we're gonna see how that looks with the 240 millimeters. All these previous shots were shot with a 360. They're not all exactly the same composition, but some people I had like from here higher, some people from here, some people had their arms in it too. Depending on what they were carrying or wearing, I was shooting differently. But yeah, we'll see how that turns out. let me see, this goes here, and this goes here. But they're all kind of the same style. You can see this was all a project I shot in 24 hours. I shot 106 portraits on 8x10. And Saturday, I'm going to be shooting a skateboarding event on 8x10. So hopefully I'll be able to share some stuff live on Instagram or Patreon or something. And I'm trying to record a bit of the experience of shooting a skateboarding event on 8x10. Which I've never done, but I'm excited to see. Let's see. Oh wait, it's going to ask me if I want to save it. Save. And then computer. Let me see. See next one. Oh wow. It has this, what is it, moire effect on his t-shirt, which is pretty crazy. You guys probably can't see it. Let me see if I can turn this around a little bit more. Let me see if I can focus on that. Focus on that. Come on, phone. Focus on that. Ah, you can't see it. But I'll share this so you guys can see it on social media as soon as I get home. But really nice guy. So yeah, as I've always told you guys, if someone ever comes to the studio, they get their portrait taken. They can take a portrait of me. They can shoot whatever they want. Just keeping it fun, sharing a bit more. For those, I don't know if there's anyone online right now that's from London. I will be going to London in like 2 to 3 weeks for the weekend. I'm thinking of either doing a photo walk or doing a film and beer over there. I'll be staying in the city I arrive Friday night and leave Sunday night. So I have probably Saturday morning and Sunday morning to do stuff. But we'll see. This one got slightly fogged on the corners, which is sad. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. So if anyone's from London and wants to meet, let me know. I'll be there for the weekend of the 6th, 7th, 8th of July. Going to an event on, I think it's Saturday during the day. I don't know, the afternoon or the morning. I have to check it out. But yeah. So yeah, guys, any questions you have, let me know. Sorry that I'm mid-scanning. Yeah, this one's totally has some fogging here. You can see, well, you probably can't see, but it has some light leaks here and here. Some of my film holders have leaks. I have to make sure which ones are the ones that are leaking. Adjust a little bit. Let's see, we want that white-ish. A bit of contrast. I could probably save this on with digital software, but this one will be a reject. That's why I took 2 shots of each person just in case. And some I actually even wasn't sure that they came out okay, so I took a 3rd and 4th. And believe it or not, some women also decided to join the project, so this will be the next shot. This was the wife of another guy that was here. So we'll see how it goes. So yeah, guys, let me know if there's any other questions. I will be doing a review on a Chamonix 8x10 that I recently got. I want to share with you guys what took me from going, starting 8x10 on monorail, then going to field camera, then back to monorail, then back to field camera. So far my 4th 8x10, if I'm not wrong. And there's reasons behind it, and that's why I want to share with you guys. Alex says, did you see Nick Carver's recent video on scanning? He uses an Epson but scanning software by Silverfast. Yeah, I have Silverfast here. I just don't really know how to use it. I did watch Nick Carver's video, which I find are extremely interesting, and he's got a sense of humor, which I like. A lot of people on YouTube take things too seriously. I think it's pretty fun to see his channel and how he does it. Looks like it keeps on focusing on the back of the back. Can't get it to focus. It's like focusing on the back there. If I get up close, it tries. It's the best you can do with a phone. Settings by film type apparently. Yeah, I did see he was using that, which was interesting. But he said he couldn't leave the borders of the film because that mixed the algorithm and the masking or unmasking of the negs. So I usually scan with those film borders on, so I don't usually scan like that. Plus, I've never used Silverfast, so I can't tell you. But I do have it somewhere here, supposedly. But as it's not my computer, I haven't tested it out properly. I just scan with Epson Scan so far, and they're 8x10 and black and white, so they're fairly simple. If you're scanning color, that's when it gets extremely complicated. That's actually one of the reasons I also stopped shooting color. It was the price of the film and the scanning that was horrible. But we're going to get back to printing color, so soon enough you'll see me doing RA4. I promised that video way too many times, so I won't promise it this time. But I'll try my best to make a video when I do that and share it with you guys. I'm not an expert by any means on RA4 printing, but I'll try my best to share the process. First woman in the project coming out. Computer's having serious trouble. Let's see. So yeah. Scanning color film is pretty hard. How? Will be a video about spotting and retouching prints. How? Yes, there will. I probably will have to retouch some prints from the Kickstarter, which I haven't forgotten. I know I haven't posted anything, but they're still here. I'm still working on them. Monday I'm going to work on them and hopefully finish a few. I'm trying to go now a few at a time because it's just overwhelming at this time. Just want to finish and send you guys the rewards. And those Patreons that are missing prints, like Yuhao, should be getting it soon. Let me see. Bad, bad, bad. Not so bad. Let's see. Should work around there. I don't want that. Scan, scan, scan. So yeah, retouching, yeah. I do use those pens that are not made anymore, and I should actually find a solution that I could recommend that still exists. It just, retouching tools seem to be so long-lasting that whatever brand makes them sells them once, and then that's it. The Marshall ones would last forever. The Spotone, or Spot On, I don't know how you say that one, last forever too. So people would buy them and then wouldn't have to buy them again. So I'm guessing the brand just went bankrupt. But it's sad that it's not available anymore. Mostly, I have seen people of Photo MX have them available. So I'm sure you can find them in places like Freestyle and maybe B&H and stuff like that. You can get those retouching tools. But yeah, lots of scanning to do too. A lot of scanning to do. But yeah, hopefully guys, we have another 20 minutes and I'll be getting that done. You say... Sean says, could you explain density correction and how it relates to scanning? It's the same as adjusting the exposure setting for the scanner. Is it something more complicated than that? Actually, your question seems complicated. I'm pretty in the middle of doing three things at the same time. Let me see. Could you explain density correction and how it relates to scanning? Um, in terms of what I understand, and don't get me as an expert in this, when I consider density, I have a densitometer, and you can see how many steps are, how many differences there are between the light, the very highlights and the darker areas or the shadows. And depending on how big the steps are, how many difference there is between both, it will be better for certain things, either scanning, printing in traditional gelatin, silver based or fiber based paper, or if you're doing alternative processes like platinum, cyanotypes, you're doing Van Dyke, you're doing stuff like that, you need to have a certain amount of steps. So if there's too much difference between the highlights and the shadows, the density is way, I don't know how you say it, but there's too much separation. When you're doing a certain process, maybe it only takes that much. So you have to get negatives that will have all their values between that range. When you're scanning, the scanner can only do so much. So I'm sure there's a perfect match for density for scanning. I'm not fluent with that. I'm not an expert. I actually have 3 densitometers, and I still haven't used one single one of them. That's me buying things that I know I will or should use and not knowing how to use them. So yeah, I have a densitometer here, which is a little one. I don't even know how I turn it on. Off, on. But yeah, this one's a little densitometer called Tecton. Come on, focus phone. Tecton RT11 something something. And I don't even know how to use it, sadly. But you're supposed to use this, and I think you can measure density on prints. So, for example, I grab a print, and I look at the value, and it says 107, and then if I get one of the darker areas, yeah, there's differences. So when I'm scanning, when I'm using the densitometer, depending on where I'm placing it, either be the highlights. So for example, on the highlights, it's giving me a 107. And then in the darker areas, it's giving me 0.69. So these values are the differences between the density. But I'm very, very not sure how to use this properly. So I'm turning it off and then putting it back in the sleeve and saving it for when I actually have the time to investigate all of this. But yeah, I have 3 of them, and I don't know how to use any of them. But that I want to implement onto my developing and working in the darkroom. Mostly because it's the best way to achieve the best negatives for your own developing. Seems to be gas. Yeah, basically there's things in the darkroom, machines, tools, and such that you only see a few times in your life. And considering that nowadays people that shoot film mostly don't print or don't print wet print, there's certain things that are not longer being made. And by that, I've become a bit of a freak of if I think it's important, I buy it. And then I try to use it whenever I can. But densitometers, I started with this little one. It was something like $30. So not a major investment. And from there, I got offered a second-hand X-Rate, the proper big one, for probably like 100 and something, which wasn't too bad. And then I started working or helping Hayland Electronics in Germany, and he sent me one of his densitometers to show someone in a fair, and I was like, I need to learn this to be able to help people buy these products. So I ended up buying it for myself, and I still haven't gotten to understand it properly. But it is an investment, like Alex says. Let's see, that's way too clear. Something like that. These are all proof scans. Don't take it like I said, these are very much scans for myself in social media. They never look amazing. They're always just quick scans. So yeah, that's why I have 3 densitometers. That's why I have 2 Epson's V700s. That's why I bought that heat press, because that I couldn't use at the time I bought it, but now I can. That's why I bought my print washer, my 8x10 enlarger, and I have like 4 Jobos and like an army of tanks. And it's all because those things are never making, they're not making them mostly again. Jobo's still currently selling machines, but just in case. You never know. Do I really need an archival washer? My prints are up to the quality right now, and I just need to learn how to spot. Wonder if having an archival washer will improve my prints even more. Well, having an archival washer, how won't improve your prints in terms of appearance. Like, you'll see a print, you'll see this print, and you'll be like, oh, that print's fine. But if it's not properly washed, it will start getting degraded, not extremely fast, but look at the metering. But it will. So the best way is to buy one of those testing things, so you can test your prints to see if there's any fixer or any remaining chemicals in it. I forget the name right now, but there's a test thing. There's also a washer from Kodak that's called Kodak Siphon. So Syphon. Probably said that wrong. But it's a little hook that you put on the tray, whatever size tray, you hook the hose, and it fills it up, and when it comes to the top, it like does a funnel, it changes the thing, and it empties it out and then fills it up. So it's a great way to wash without buying a print washer. But yeah, I would say you won't improve your prints in seeing what there is, but you'll improve your prints in knowing they're properly washed. But also, print washers don't always guarantee a perfect wash. So I would first test your prints, the ones you think are washed properly, see if there's any chemicals residue in there, and if there's not, don't buy a print washer first. Keep on going with the spotting and retouching. If your goal is to sell prints, start selling prints, and once you're selling prints, if you think that can be an investment you can do, you can buy an archival washer. But they're heavy, they're big, they're fragile. Once you fill them up, they weigh a ton and a half. They're pretty brittle in the sense that they're made out of plastic, at least mine, which kind of like has gotten older and they crack everywhere. Mine's broken at one point, but I have like a little, like a plug so the water won't release, so I have to put it and take it off by hand. So yeah, do I recommend it? Yes. Do I recommend buying a new one? No. But you can find secondhand ones every now and then, but don't make it your main investment if your prints are washed enough. I have seen how your work lately on stories and such, and your prints are looking so good. I'm going to end up having to go over to Seattle and learn from your way of doing prints, because I'm basically stuck with trying to catch up and not learning more. But I want to learn more. Actually, these prints that are here, I'm going to be printing with a friend that knows a lot more about printing than me. So hopefully I can do the best with them. Yeah, it's great to have the gloves on the table. I'm sorry, guys. It's just I can't touch the screen and do that, but I'll put them on. someone will leave a comment after this and say that I'm a mess at scanning, which I am. But as I said, it's not my main goal. Plus, my hands are pretty clean now after stopping here for a little bit. This one has to go here, and this one has to go here. And it should be good enough. Scan. Scan. So yeah, gloves on, guys. But yeah, we have around another 9 minutes or so. Let me see. Yeah, 9:50 my time. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, remember, I'm sorry this is kind of like a weird live stream. I've been trying to be productive during the live stream, so there's more than just me and that painting in the back. Hey Jacob, nice to see you here. See you in the next one. You might have already addressed this, but how come your feed is mirror imaged? Probably when you use the selfie camera. Don't ask me why they don't mirror it. So yeah, I can see that I'm on this side, but I'm actually on the right side. So yeah, it is mirrored. I guess the best way to see that is to show you guys a box of Kodak, and it's the other way around. So yeah, I don't know. It's something to do with a front facing little camera, which does all the weird stuff. I don't know if I can change that, but I'll look it up beforehand for the next live stream. House says, thank you. Very frustrated with split grade printing at first, but I'm getting a hang of it. Got used to exposing warm tone and fiber-based paper too. After I learned how to spot, print shop will open. Well, spotting, I can say, there's a website which I found that had a lot of information about printing and wet printing and spotting and selling prints and numbering and stuff like that, which I will look it up. It's something like Light Rangers, or I would have to look it up. I have it on favorites on my computer. But there's a lot, not this computer. There's a lot of information about that. But spotting, what I found is you want to start with very little amounts. Get a piece of white paper, like, you know, just develop it so you can spot on that and see how much it will do, and go with a dry brush, so you do very little bits and give it time, and always have you know, like a few prints that are good, because the first one you're going to spot, you're going to ruin. So you want to just learn by slowly spotting. It takes a lot of time. Use gloves, use a proper I think those ring lights, like the one I'm using here, with the mirror, not the mirror, magnifying glass, should be the best option to do that, because you can like look at what you're doing and spot very little by little. But the main goal is try to having your prints the cleanest possible. TV Photo says that explains it. Notice that you were computer mouse with your left hand. No, this is my right hand, even though it looks like my left hand. So yeah. Sorry guys, it's my phone inverting. I used to use my webcam on my computer, but don't have internet here, so I'm using my phone and 4G network, which I thought wouldn't last because I ran out of data, but I got another extension of my data for the live stream. So that's another one. I can probably scan one or two more. So let's see if I can scan one or two more. This one's just a random one of a friend that came over to the studio 2 weeks ago. Well, 2 weekends ago. He shoots mostly on digital nowadays, but he prints on Platinum. So he's the one I want to learn from if I ever get into it. He does pretty good work on Platinum printing. But now it just uses digital files, because he said he was scanning to print, and it was just another step to getting that done. But he still has some large format, medium format, and 35. Really nice guy, old school photographer. But yeah. Ooh, there's a few different images here. But yeah, I hope to get some more. Ooh, that one's exposed either terribly scanner didn't like that one. Why is it so dark? Well, this was inside the dark on downstairs on the studio, so it was pretty dark. So we're going to try to get something out of there. Even if it's just to share with him. This was me wanting to shoot more 8x10, so I just shot a quick snap of him. And then we have this one, which I shared on Instagram, which was a friend with some rocks on the back. These are actually rocks from the train tracks, which they're changing. I don't know why. I guess they've ran out of things to expend money, so they're doing that. So out of my studio, there's a train, so they're changing that. So down the road, we took that as a background to shift. This is shot on the Chamonix 8x10 with a 305 G Claren from Schneider. I think stopped down to like F11 or F16. But yeah, Fomapan 100. Should be some detail there. Hopefully. House says, oh, for your information, I melted one of my RC prints for letting it too long in the hot press. It was scary. Oh man. I didn't know RC, but why would you hot press RC? I thought RC paper didn't need it. Andrea, wait. Hey, nice to see you. Andrea, see you soon. Hopefully you'll join us another time where I'm not so randomly speaking. Let me see. Alex says, a lot of news this week on your news show, like the spy plane info, still shooting film. Yeah, as I didn't do the news last week, it was kind of a double news. So I try to do it a bit faster so it wouldn't be so long because I know a lot of people enjoy the news, but I don't want to make them 20-minute long. Because if I start giving my opinion on the news, then it just gets extremely long. So yeah, the next week there'll be a normal news. Will be around 7 to 8 minutes. There's a few things that have come out already. So that's exciting, like the Lomography Diana mini Instax camera, which is all funky and does, you know, circle images on Instax and stuff. But we'll see how that goes. And I hopefully will be able to do a photo story during the summer. I contacted a company, just waiting for them to confirm, but I'll let you guys know. The Barbas Ectochrome is good for what conditions? Street photography, portraits. Ectochrome, I mean, it can be used for anything you want. But the thing is, remember, slide has a very small latitude, so you want to have certain conditions to shoot. But it should work for pretty much everything. I love slides for portraits, and I love slides for certain street photography. Some people do amazing on slides. You can Google Soul Later. Like he used Kodachrome, so that was just like unfair. That stuff looked so good, those reds and stuff, but he was so good. Soul is called SAUL, lighter or later, LEITR, I think, and his street photography on slide was amazing. I mean, wearing gloves is great, but all I'm leaving is dust everywhere. These gloves are like decomposing while I scan. Scanning this one, and I'll probably be done for today. We have like 30 seconds, but I'll wait till this scan finishes. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. Hao says, it was 11 by 14, weirdly curved, so I thought, why not? And now I understand it's better not to flatten with heavy books instead of hot press. Yeah, RC paper, I've never put inside the flattening, the hot press, but it's basically just plastic. So I can understand that could have been scary. No, not that way. Maybe that way a little bit. Want to retain values there. There we go. scan. So yeah, that's going to be the last image for today. I'll leave my gloves on for removing the negative from there. So yeah, guys, that's it for this live stream. Sorry that I was in mid scanning. Scanned probably around 10 shots, so that will be some fun to dust and upload on social media. If you guys have any questions, remember you can contact me through any place you want. Instagram, Facebook, you know, all of this, and YouTube, sorry. And we'll talk. Ludmila, nice to see you. I haven't scanned or developed your shot yet, which I shot him at Barcelona a few weeks ago. So yeah, thanks guys, and we'll see each other next week. I'll be posting as much as I can during the weekend while I'm, you know, shooting the 8x10 at the skate park. Bye guys.